Hi, this is Adam Winch with Defenders USA. I'm a defensive firearms trainer in the Western Colorado area, and we work around several different states around our state. But what I want to talk to you about today is something I think is pertinent for people who might ever have to use a gun in defense of life. So let's say this. Let's say that you're a concealed carry holder and you happen to go places with a concealed carry gun. Now, if you pull that gun and you use it in defense of life, what's going to happen to you? Well, first of all, once the cops show up and everything else that does go on at the scene, ultimately your gun is going to be seized and booked into evidence with the police department, the sheriff's department, by the state, because maybe it was state patrol or some state police agency. Whatever agency you're in, it's going to be booked into evidence, and it's going to be held in evidence for as long as it takes to get fully through the trials that might go there, whether the case is against you, for you, right, or just really against the bad guy in this case. So let's say this. If the guy on the other side, the bad people, whoever that is, if they ultimately take a plea in the case, let's say they take a plea in 6, 8, 10 months, then after that period, you might get your gun back pretty quickly. But let's say it drags out into a criminal trial, a civil trial. And this could be against you, it could be against even the bad people on the other side of this thing. And then ultimately maybe they get convicted. Well, there's also an appeals process that is oftentimes counted upon. So that could drag out even more years at a time. So your gun, if you use a gun defensively in life, your gun's gone. It's gone. It's gone for 6, 8, 10 months, maybe several years, if not longer. A really good friend of mine, he got himself into a gunfight, and his gun was actually seized through the entire process for 7.5 years. 7.5 years. He finally got it back, but 7.5 years. So here's what I'm trying to say with this. If you're going to carry a gun in defense of life, I'm going to suggest, if finances allow it, and that may not be the case for everybody, but if finances allow it, I'm going to suggest to you not only have the gun that you normally carry, buy an exact identical version of the gun, right? Get a second one, get the exact same gun. So the trigger press is the same, right? The grip angles are the same, the grip feel is the same, the function's the same. If you put dots on them, right? A red dot optic, if you have to do trigger modifications, whatever it is you do the exact same thing to the second gun. Because guess what? If you pull this gun in defensive life and you use this thing, it's gonna almost be hard to take this out of your hand, right? Because this thing just saved your life. It's hard to surrender that thing. In fact, you want to take it home, love it, kiss it, take it to bed, sleep with it, right? Hang out with it, because this thing saved your life. It's kind of hard to get rid of. So therefore, if it's seized and booked into evidence that this is your only gun, then suddenly you might have to wait several days, maybe a couple weeks, whatever it takes for you to ultimately get to another store or free up the money or something to go get another defensive tool. And believe me, use a gun in defensive life, you're suddenly never going to ever want to be without a gun again, because you realize how important this is. Most people don't realize the emotional connection you'll have to this inanimate object until they actually have to use it. So to alleviate the emotional stress or just the feeling of discomfort after a gunfight, if you have a second one that's identical, right? It fits the same gear that you have. It uses the same magazines. It feels familiar to you because this is what you carry. If you can just simply go home and pick that up and put it into your gear, your holsters, your whatever else it is you may carry, then suddenly there's a whole lot of emotional peace or internal peace because you have the exact same gun. So I'm going to suggest, again, only if finances allow it, buy 2 of the exact same thing. Train with them. Train with both. Make sure they feel the same, right? Be sure that it works well. But at the same time, keep your other one at home so that if something does come up, you can immediately go home and not have to wait, right? Because maybe your shooting happened on a Friday night and it's a holiday weekend. The stores don't even open until Tuesday for you to go purchase a gun somewhere if you need to, right? Or maybe finances are really hard, or maybe there's hospital stuff that's going on and it takes several weeks to get back to it. At least have the comfort, if you can, of having an identical secondary gun that you can go to. So again, I know this may sound weird, but believe me, it's an important thing when it suddenly happens to you. So just a thought. Adam Winch here with Defenders USA. If you want to look for us online, you can look for us under our website, which is defenders-usa.com, defenders-usa.com. Or you can find us on Facebook and, of course, This is our YouTube channel. So please do me a favor, share this thing, comment on it, subscribe to us, all that other stuff, as we're beginning to figure out the whole YouTube thing. Any help we can get from you would be appreciated, but just want to bring up the thought, if you can have to. All right, take care. God bless you guys. Hey, be vigilant and train thoughtfully. Put a lot of thought process into what you do so you get as much efficient progress out of what it is you do in your training. Again, take care. God bless. Adam Winch, Defenders USA.